Today we're going to talk about gin wheel pulls. Gin wheels are a really nice movement to get a vertical pull in. We're using just a construction site gin wheel up there, which when I first got them went for about 30 pounds. Now they go for about 40 pounds. They'll last forever. You can leave them outside. They're not going to rust. Nice and quality. Second thing you'll want is a cat of some sort. It's very important that when you do this that you have small animals around you. It's actually not what you want. So if you have any small animals or children, make sure that they're away from the gin wheel because you don't want them to get crushed. Like I said, this is a really nice movement for vertical pulling. The reason I like the gin wheels is eventually if you wanted to get your population to do rope climbs, this will build the same kind of strength, the sort of bent arm vertical pulling strength that you need for rope climbs. If you don't have these, it's fine. You can get pulling in other ways. If you have your spars set up, you could do negative pull-ups on the spars. There's various ways that you can use suspension trainers to kind of get a vertical pull. Just for an easy substitution, for example, if in the context of doing a Ring of Fire workout, you can just do suspension trainer rows as normal, but eventually you are going to want to find some way to get more vertical pulling in because this is a unique stimulus, and this movement just feels really nice. People really like it. So for this, points of performance are you want to stand as close to it as possible. The further away you stand from it, the more challenging it'll be. You also want to look up, and I like to make sure I'm not standing directly under the branch just in case the branch were to break. So that's a big thing too. Remember, this is a two-handed movement, so even though everyone focuses on the top hand, your bottom hand is helping you as well. So I'm going to start with my feet about hip width apart. I'm going to do a nice big reach with my leading hand, and then my other hand is over by my belly button. When I pull, I'm not just pulling with my top arm, I'm also pulling with my bottom arm. I'm going to pull all the way, okay, until my top hand is down by my ribs like that. We want to get full range of motion. Then I come up here and the same thing. So I'm pulling until my palms get to my ribs, just like that. I get to the top. Once I get to the top, I'm going to lower it back down with control. We're not going to let it drop. On the way down, grip is going to be an issue. Your grip is going to be much stronger if you grip at an angle like this. See how the rope goes horizontal? Rather than holding it like this, I'm going to go ahead and make sure I do it like this, all the way down with control, and then back up. And then back down. So whenever we list these in a workout and we do the reps, we're not counting the individual pulls, we're counting the number of times you go up to the top and then back down again. So that's the gin wheel pull. Nice movement. Definitely worth investing in getting a few of these because everybody likes them and they're good for you. So normally we teach this as a strict movement like this, but if just using your arms only is a little bit tough, you can use your body more, so you can sort of do like a so you're using almost like a squatting motion to pull down when you're doing this, kind of like you're ringing bells or something in a cathedral. So you still do the same start up here, but instead of just using your arms, your first movement is going to be sort of a downward, almost skiing motion, where you're going to go ahead and use your legs to put some downward momentum on it. And that's going to help a little bit if the weight is just a little bit too heavy for you. So for the setup, we like to use the natural fiber ropes just because they feel better in hand. We've tried lots of different ones, but whenever we go over to a synthetic fiber, people always complain that it doesn't feel as good. We have a carabiner. This isn't any kind of special knot right here. We just sort of tied something that's not going to go anywhere. Keep the carabiner in between here, and then we just use some climbing straps. The reason we do it like this is because if you need to change out in the middle of the workout, okay, if I had a series of kettlebells here, it's easier for me to unclip. And then I could just have a series of these, and when I'm ready to switch over to the next one, I just kind of line them up there, loop through, and then it's ready to go. And it makes it much, much quicker than trying to always untie. So this knot, once you tie it once, you don't have to retie it. Just always keep the carabiner in the end loop there, and the only thing you ever have to do is just move the straps around the handles of the kettlebell. But if you have a few extra of these, as we do, it's easier just to go in and out. And you can use any kind of straps. You can get similar things from construction companies. We just had some old ones left over from some climbing surplus, and they work perfectly for the job.